Jai Hind to all. I am Dr. Saroj Kushwah, Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering and Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Today, I'll discuss about system call of operating system. There are different system call used during the executions of any process. First of all, I'll discuss about the what do you mean by system call. The system call is a programmatic way in which a computer program requests a services from a kernel of operating system on which it is executed. The system call is a way for programs to interact with operating system. A computer program make a system call when it requests the operating system's kernels. System call provide the services of the operating system to the user's programs by the application program interface. The application program interface is also known as an API. System call are the only entry point. System calls only called as an entry point into the kernel system and are executed in kernel mode. There are system call. There are uses the different interfaces programs here defined in a system call. We use the different means, the different mode. First one is a user program, then it defined the user interface, then system call. For the system, after the system call, the hardware it has including the different process, the program control means different functions of operating system, error management, input output, resources, file system, commands, auditing, security, etc. The user program, a user program can interact with operating system using the system call. Without system call, the user program cannot directly connect it with the operating system. A number of services are requested by the program and the operating system responds by launching a number of systems calls to fulfill the request. A system call can be written a high level languages like C or Parcel or in assembly language. If a high level language is used, the operating system may directly invoke system calls, which are predefined functions. A system call is initiated by the program executing specific instructions, which triggers a switch to kernel mode, allowing the program to request a service from the operating system. The operating system then handles the request, performs the necessary operations and returns the request back to the program. System calls are essential for a proper functioning of an operating system as they provide a standardized way for program to access the system resources. Means system calls is essential. If any operating system work properly, then for that operating system is compulsory to need a system calls. Means system using the system call is a standardized way for program to access system resources. Through the system call, you can access the system resources in a proper way, in a proper or a standardized way. Without system call, each program would need to implement its method for accessing hardware and system services. Without this, every program need to implement their methods, then access hardware, and then system services, leading to inconsistency and error-prone behavior. And the operating system means operating system behavior as error-prone behavior and leading the inconsistency. Services provided by the system call. There are different services provided by the system call to any operating system. Is first one is the process creation and management. There are different functions of a system call. Main memory management, then file access, directory, and file system management. After that, process control means when the process will end, award, when which process is created, which process has completed their task, then after that when it will terminate, then which process is ready to execute, then allocate the memory, and after the termination it's free from memory. Then these all the task means services provided by using the means you can use through the system call. And process control, maybe after the process control there is a file management. File management means create, open, means which file will create, which will open, close, when it will delete, read file, etc. Means all the services, means all the functions, whatever, all the functions. Either you want to create, delete, allocate, reallocate, open, means you can all the services you can access in a standardized way using the system call. Device management, information maintenance and communication. The information maintenance, it is used for maintenance and communications, and it is also used for protection and networking, etc. Feature of system call. There are different features of operating of the system call. First one is a interface, next protection, after that kernel, following this context switching and error handling. Last one is the last one not least, the synchronization. First I'll discuss the interface. This is the main feature of system call. Interface means system call provide a well-defined interface between user program and the operating system. Programs make request by calling a specific function, and the operating system responds by executing and requested services and returning a result. Second, protection. Protection means system call are used to access privileged operations, means that are not available to normal user program. The protection means it is used to access privileged operations which is not available to normal user programs. The operating systems uses this privilege to protect the system from malicious or unauthorized access. And next is the kernel mode. In a kernel mode, when a system call is made, the program is temporarily switched from user mode to kernel mode. In kernel mode, the program has access to all system resources, including hardware, memory, and other processes. Context switching. A system call requires a context switch, which involve saving the state of current process and switching to the kernel mode to execute the request service. This can introduce overhead, which can impact system performance. Next one is the error handling. The next feature of system call is the error handling. Means system call can return error code to indicate problems with the request service. Program must check for this error and handle them appropriately. Synchronization. System call can be used to synchronize access to shared resources such as file or network connections. The operating system provides synchronization mechanism such as locks or semaphores to ensure that multiple programs can access this resource safely. A system call is a request from a program to operating system to perform task the operating system is responsible for. System call are a key way for program to interact with the operating system. System call is a special function that is used by process to request actions from the operating system which cannot be carried out by normal function. System call provide the interface. I have already talked about it. Rules for passing parameter in a system call. The floating point parameter cannot be passed as parameter in the system call. Only a limited number of argument can be passed in the system call. If there are more argument, then they should be stored in block of memory and address of memory block. Then parameters can be pushed or popped from the stack only by the operating system. System call, there are the different types of system call: process control, file management, device management, information maintenance, and communication. This category present a core functionality that program rely to the interact with the operating system and utilize system. Process control, that system call related to process means this is the system call used for process control. It is used to process creation, which process for process creation, termination, waiting of a process completion, and managing process priority. Example: fork. This is the fork system call means fork operations. Fork for creating a new process. AXEC, it is used for replacing the current process with the new one, and wait is used for waiting for process to complete, and the kill for terminating the process. File management, the the system calls mean there are open, read, write, close, create, delete, and start for retrieving file information. Device management, here the system calls for accessing hardware devices such as reading from or writing to input output devices. Example: IOCTL, CTL for performing device specific operations, and read write for accessing device buffering. Information maintenance system call, this is used the system call for retrieving or setting system wide information such as time and date, system configuration, or specific attribution. Example: getting me off T for getting the current time, S time for setting the time, and set priority for modifying process priorities. Communication, the system calls for enabling inter-process communications such as sending and receiving messages between process or establishing the communications. Example: pipe, sockets, connects, and there are the different system calls. How does system call work? The system call work in a two mode: user mode and a kernel mode. The user mode, in this mode the execution is done on behalf of the user, and monitor or kernel mode, in this mode execution is done in the behalf of operating system. So when the process is under execution, the process execute under user mode. What when the process requires some operating system resources to complete the task, the process makes the system call. System call in operating system are executed in kernel mode on priority basis. On completion of the system call, the control is passed to process in user mode. The process continue the execution in the user mode. Working structure, the working structure of there are the two mode: user mode and kernel mode. Then in a user mode there are the different functions means user process executing, get system calls. Get system calls means from the executed system it go to the kernel mode, then from the Kernel mode executes system call, then after the execution call, it return from the system call. The advantages of system call. There are different advantages, means access to hardware resources, memory management, process management, security, and standardization. Access to hardware resources. System call allow program to access hardware resources such as disk drive, printers, and network devices. Second one, memory management. System call provide a way for programs to allocate anti-allocate memory as well as access memory mapped hardware devices. Process management. Process management system call allow program to create and terminate process as well as manage inter-process communication. Security system call provide a way. Security means there are another advantages of the system called security. In the security, system call provide a way for program to access privileged resources such as the ability to modify system settings or perform operations that require administrative permissions. Standardization. Standardization means system call provide the standardized interface for programs to interact with operating system, ensuring consistency and compatibility across different hardware platforms and operating system versions. There are different disadvantages of system call. First one is a performance overhead. Second one, security risk. Third one, error handling complexity. Fourth one, compatibility challenges. And last one is the resource consumption. First, performance overhead. This is the disadvantage, means system call involve switching between user and kernel mode, which can slow down program execution. When the system calls switching between user mode and kernel mode, between the user mode, at that time it slow down the program execution. Security risk. Security risk. This is the another disadvantages of system call, means it improper users or vulnerability in system call can lead to security breaches or unauthorized access to the system resources. Means any unauthorized person can access the system resources due to due to security breaches. Third one is the error handling complexity. Handling error in system calls such as resource allocation failure or timeout can be complex and require careful programming. Because of handling error in system calls such as resource allocation failure or timeout can be complex, means here the means can be complex and require careful programming. Compatibility challenges. In a compatibility challenges, system call may vary between different. It will vary between different operating system. Because of different, it is very. This is the compatibility challenges. Another is the resource consumption. System call can consume significant system resources, especially in environment with many concurrent process making frequently calls. These resource consumptions, system calls can consume significant. It can consume significant system resources, especially in environment with many. When the different advantages, disadvantages, how system call works, what are the working of system call, and how the system does work call, means there are the two mode, kernel mode and user mode. here we discuss about the different types of system call. First one, process. For their distant means system call are used. First, process control for process control, and another one is used for file management, then device management and information maintenance, and there are different system call used for the communications. Here we discussed about the rules for passing the parameter in system calls, and here I discuss about the what do you mean by system call. And there are, I have discussed the different features, means interface protection, kernel mode, context switching, error handling, and synchronization. Here we have discussed or explained about the service, which is basically provided by the system calls. Here we have discussed the definition of the system calls, means the system call is a way for programs to interact with operating system. It means it is the operating system. When the any um, users want to access the operating system functions, then it will be used the kernel mode using the different system call. So thank you.